This is KGW News at Sunrise.
And they've been under constant bombardment by missile strikes for the better part of a week. And it's truly terrifying.
This Reed College professor is breaking down the crisis in Ukraine, saying she is not surprised any of this is happening.
Also this morning, a celebrated Oregon State trooper is now facing a lawsuit. A lawyer in Southern Oregon says the trooper has been targeting minority drivers along I-5 for years. We're going to take a closer look inside this investigation.
But first, we take a look at gas prices as local drivers feel the impact of those rising costs.
We can't get a break.
Oh, it's a bummer.
Definitely sticker shock.
And it might get worse as the U.S. and its European allies debate banning Russian oil imports.
Yeah, not fun talking about paying for gas right now. Let's simplify things for just a moment, gang, on this Monday morning. It's also National Cereal Day. Ooh. 30 minutes ago, I asked Rod Hill his all-time favorite cereals. He gave me 3. I wrote them down in my hand in alphabetical order. Apple Jacks, Cap'n Crunch, and Fruit Loops. Rod?
Ooh.
Yes.
Those are good.
All good. I'm going to ask Rod to eliminate one right now as we determine his all-time favorite.
Well, I'm going to go with Apple Jacks, but only because I like fresh fruit. I'll keep Fruit Loops in.
So Apple Jacks is out. Rod will determine his favorite before the morning is through. What do you have for us weather-wise?
Here we go. We have a cold start for you. We are dry. We have areas of fog developing and temperatures that are in the 30s and in many cases freezing. There's a lot of frost out there to be found this morning. There's Kaiser at 32 and Salem at 34. Good morning to you. And to the bus stop we go. So foggy areas, freezing, frosty temperatures. Bundle up. Winds are light. It will be a dry day and sunshine is coming. 46 at noon. And then later today, 56 will be about where we were over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Back to you.
Rob, thank you. Ukraine and Russia are set to hold their third round of peace talks. They're supposed to start in just about an hour. Over the weekend, 2 ceasefires failed when Russia continued shelling cities. Russia announced a third ceasefire this morning. That opened a handful of humanitarian corridors to allow civilians to flee Ukraine. Here's the issue, though. Those evacuation routes lead to Russia or Belarus, and Ukrainians say they're not going to use them. World leaders are considering new ways to fight back against Russia, including possible investigations into its military actions. The U.S. is also in talks with Poland about a deal to send Russian-made fighter jets to Ukraine. Right now, political pressure is growing for President Biden to impose a no-fly zone.
I would take nothing off the table, but I would be very clear that we're going to support the Ukrainian people, the Ukrainian president.
As of this morning, more than 1.5 million Ukrainians have fled the country.
NBC's Jay Gray will bring us an update from the Polish-Ukrainian border coming up at 5:30. Over the weekend, though, we got some local perspective on the situation in Ukraine from a professor at Reed College. Her name is Alexandra Herzog. Her Ukrainian-speaking family was forced from Eastern Europe during World War II, and she herself has spent extensive time studying Ukraine. Herzog says what's happening there right now is really not surprising. She says it's been building for a long time. And she also explained the reason for Russia's attack, basically trying to destroy Ukraine's open, inclusive, and democratic society.
Russia has actually systematically destroyed its own civil society. And so we actually have an idea of what it will look like in Ukraine when we look at neighboring Russia and we see what has happened to venerable human rights organizations.
Herzog also says the way Ukrainians have reacted over the last several weeks proves to the world that the ways of Russian President Vladimir Putin are not welcome there.
Well, the U.S. is in talks with European allies about banning imported Russian oil. If that happens, it would likely push gas prices even higher.
Yeah, and a big headline from this weekend, Portland and Vancouver have now hit a record for highest average gas price ever at $4.50. Galen Etland shares the outlook for us here and the rest of the world.
A new price got posted at this downtown Portland gas station Sunday afternoon, more than $5 a gallon.
It's stressful, it keeps going up.
Lupita Diaz is feeling the strain.
We have to get our kids to practices, and all that, so.
AAA says Oregon's Sunday average was about $4.47 for a gallon of regular. Portland and Vancouver hit their record for a second day in a row, reaching about $4.50.
We can't get a break.
Oh, it's a bummer.
Gretchen Murray has to commute for work.
Unfortunately, I'm going to pay for gas no matter what price it is.
Definitely sticker shock.
Wesley Clarios felt lucky he got gas right before the attendant posted the new, even higher price.
I feel like they're just going to keep going up and up, especially with, Ukraine and everything going on right now.
The world's top 3 oil producers are the U.S., Saudi Arabia, and Russia, which produces 11% of the global supply. More than half the cost of gasoline comes from that crude oil. So as the world shuts off Russia during war in Ukraine, Marie Dodds with AAA says the market is reacting.
Markets don't like the unknown. They don't like the uncertainty. The U.S. and its allies have imposed severe sanctions on Russia.
Russia could withhold crude oil from the already tight global markets.
I'm afraid to see what's going to happen.
In that uncertainty, the national U.S. average for regular gas topped $4 a gallon this weekend, the highest since 2008. But other countries have much higher prices because of higher taxes. Most of Europe, for instance, pays more than $7 a gallon, and people in Hong Kong pay more than $10. But AAA says saving money on gas is universal.
Taking stuff out of your car, combining trips, driving less. If you have more than one vehicle in the home, use the vehicle that gets the best gas mileage for those trips.
And maybe we can get with families and carpool the kids to school.
There's not much we can do. I'm just going to hang tight, sit back, and stay home.
AAA expects prices to climb into the summer typically, so we could see even more increases ahead. It does hope, though, that prices can come down the second half of the year, but a lot hinges on that market uncertainty and conflict with Russia. Galen Etlin, KGW News.
So we want to know what you think about this. Go to our KGW News Twitter page and vote in our poll. We are asking this morning, would you support banning Russian oil imports, even if it means paying higher gas prices? So far, you guys say yes, ban it. We will pay the price. 86% of you are going to keep checking in throughout the show. It's on our KGW News Twitter page. Let's get to some more Monday headlines. The Washington County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help to catch the guy who lit a car's gas tank on fire, causing it to explode. Watch this, bottom right of your screen. This was in the Fred Meyer parking lot on Beaverton-Hillsdale Highway in Shoals Ferry yesterday. You see the guy walk up, holding something close to the gas tank, then that explosion, and you can see part of his clothes caught on fire. He takes off his glove or sleeve and keeps walking. If you know anything, call the Washington County Sheriff's Office. Down in southern Oregon, fire officials near Rogue River say a police officer shot a person along I-5. The details very scarce right now. What we do know is officials say there were several car crashes spread out over several miles related to this. I-5 was shut down in both directions between Grants Pass and Medford for more than an hour. It is back open this morning. We'll keep you updated. The Oregon Music Hall of Fame says someone stole 70 autographed guitars out of a storage unit that were supposed to go up for charity auction. The organization doesn't have pictures of the exact guitars, but here are some examples. The guitars had been signed by the Monkees, George Clinton, Portugal the Man, and many other artists. The Hall of Fame is asking people to keep an eye out if you're trying to sell these specialty guitars online. And those are some of your Monday headlines.
In Southern Oregon, a state trooper is under investigation and facing a civil lawsuit for underreporting traffic stops and targeting minorities. KGW's Kyla Boshi takes a closer look.
From drug busts to saving puppies, Oregon State Police celebrated the work of Trooper Travis Peterson, his accomplishments posted on social media. But now this drug cop from Southern Oregon is attracting attention for another reason: allegations of misconduct.
Travis Peterson has been racially profiling on Interstate 5 and throughout the roads of Jackson County for years.
Later this week, attorney Justin Rosas plans to file a class action lawsuit against Oregon State Police and Trooper Peterson on behalf of 8 men who believe they were wrongly detained while driving through Southern Oregon.
And part of this lawsuit is trying to look out for all of the over-policing of people who are just trying to move along, and people of color predominantly, right, who are just trying to move along.
A review of press releases and social media posts suggest over the past few years, Trooper Peterson and his K-9 have made numerous drug busts along Interstate 5 near Medford, seizing cash, cocaine, heroin, and meth. But court records indicate many of those cases were later dismissed because the trooper allegedly conducted unlawful searches. And there were other problems. A memo from the Jackson County District Attorney shows Peterson failed to document hundreds of traffic stops. He didn't record some canine deployment, which impacts a dog's accuracy rating, and some evidence went missing.
He did hide his stops evidence. He did hide his canine stops. They do continue to employ him.
The attorney claims Trooper Peterson frequently stopped vehicles with out-of-state plates, where drivers looked like they were not from the area. In a tort claim notice, the lawyer said blatantly he targeted minorities. Peterson could not be reached for comment. He's currently on protected leave for unrelated reasons. In a statement, state police said OSP takes allegations of racial discrimination and evidence mishandling seriously and has zero tolerance for such behavior by its members. OSP investigates all allegations of misconduct and takes appropriate steps to address any behavior falling outside its policies, rules, procedures, or law. The lawsuit comes at a time when vehicle searchers have come under greater scrutiny. The Oregon Supreme Court made it harder for police to search vehicles without a warrant, and the state legislature just passed a bill that would prevent officers from pulling drivers over for a minor infraction and require officers to inform drivers they have the right to refuse a search during a traffic stop. Kyle Aboshi, KGW News.
Well, after some very difficult times for downtown Portland, we have some good news to share. Saturday Market is back. It kicked off a new season over the weekend. Look at all the vendors there. The turnout, they say, was even better than expected. Market manager Diana Gladden says they're scaling up again. Right now, they're only open on Saturdays, but they hope to add Sundays sometime soon.
I've had tears in my eyes a couple times because I didn't expect the support that I got. And I thought I was going to be met with a lot of trouble. We are here, and I am 100%. Let's get this downtown back together and let's reclaim it for Portland.
Hear, hear. Okay, Saturday Market is going to operate every Saturday from 10 to 5 through December. When they add Sundays, we'll definitely let you know. Rod, look at all that blue sky. Great opening weekend for them. This morning, though, it's a little chilly.
Chilly out there. Temperatures around freezing for many of you out the door, so make sure you bundle up. It should be another mild afternoon, though. A little bit of cloudiness spilling down. We also have fog developing. Here we go. So far, it's been out on the west side and down toward McMinnville. There's Hillsboro, no fog in downtown Portland right now. Tillamook down to Newport, a little bit of fog starting to form down in Eugene. Again, I do expect the fog to be increasing in the coming hours. You can see a little layer kind of hanging right there over the city. 37 out at the airport. PDX has been down to 35. Salem's at 34. Eugene's freezing. Bend's freezing. 20-degree temperatures out across eastern Oregon. This is a dry Monday for you, and winds will be light across the entire region. So assuming we get the sun we think is coming for this afternoon, Salem right back up into the upper 50s today. That'll be nice. At 58, McMinnville 57. Again, the light winds. Southwest Washington generally expected to be up into the mid-50s this afternoon. Morning fog, afternoon sun, and again, the light winds. All right, here's your week coming on the 7-day. Today, 56 in Portland. Should be a nice afternoon. And then we have showers. The first showers could arrive tomorrow morning. Rain certainly picks up during the afternoon into the night. Tomorrow's high 50. Scattered showers with a cold east wind developing on Wednesday. And then Thursday, Friday are dry. We have the Shamrock Run this coming Sunday. Right now, there's a front that comes in Saturday. That could be just a good old-fashioned rainy day. And then the typical scattered showers to follow that front on Sunday with a high of 53. And of course, it's this upcoming weekend that we spring forward to daylight saving time. Back to you.
That's right. Right. Thank you for the reminder, Rodney. Let's talk about what's coming up next here on Sunrise. We're talking about staying sharp. Staying sharp with some old techniques. This is a look inside a local company that's making one-of-a-kind knives for both professional chefs and the home cook. That story, 3 minutes away.